If there's one thing I know for sure, it's that I know nothing.
Podcast with your hosts, Andy and Ethan.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Another week. Another one.
And another one.
And another one. And
Right?
another and new. And new. This is the and new episode.
Starting with an and new mic setup.
I was gonna say and new microphone. Yeah, dude.
My boy Andy
In the podcast division.
is weighing in.
Yeah.
10 pounds of big black dick.
Just 10? That seems like a low number.
From the forest in California. No, but dude. Merry Christmas to me, dude. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, and I'll be getting your gifts that you gave to me. You gave me, I already said, but you gave me a bunch of posters, some really cool, especially the 25 one. The UFC 25 one's my favorite. So when I remodel the studio, which I was going to do more recently, I've mentioned it a few times in the podcast, whoever, one guy's like, what are you doing? But like, I just want to wait till I can do it like right and get it correctly and stuff like that. So hopefully in the future I'm gonna have 3 frames, probably 4 actually going, but 3 of them visible in the frame.
Yeah,
with some UFC stuff, not just a fake fight between Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali. So
still though, it's pretty cool.
I love it.
I would love, one day, I guess my dream is to have like a giant like office with a backdrop, like, or at least have the wall. And then I'd be able to put like some of the fight posters and stuff in there, especially once fucking me and this chick end up living together one day.
Well, you also could just probably like figure out how to do it from your living room, dude. Because your whole the rest of your house kind of looks like just the UFC Hall of Fame. So like if you were able to actually get that in the background, that would be pretty legit.
Yeah, maybe.
I was thinking about it until I was saying something off air. I was telling Ethan about how he might want to invest in some foam and some studio soundproofing and stuff because he's got the new microphone and it's a little bit more sensitive. But it just made me think, they do make these little panel deals that have like foam on the outside of it, so it kind of like just grabs your voice, and they're pretty good. I've actually seen like Kanye West and other artists like use it to record in a very big open room that has usually like terrible acoustics for like a recording setting like that. So I don't know, it might be something, but I don't know, it was something we should think about for sure. You know what I mean? I know you'd have to move your setup, but still.
I mean, I was winning in the living room though is the fact that freaking I have high ceilings in the living room, so freaking I'll have even more echo than what I normally do, because I mean I have high ceilings as it is. But
that's what that little thing like wraps around your microphone, like to where the only thing that's like visible is like what you're like the plosive, the little filter. That would be like the only like area of the microphone that actually be, everything else would be like foamed around it. I built like a little one a long time ago and I saw them. They're kind of pricey, but pretty cool. But so
let's get into why the fuck we're here.
Get into it, man. Well, big week. We got a lot to talk about, and let's try to get this thing going. I'm exhausted, and I'm gonna. Yeah, I know you are too. So,
recovering.
What's that?
So I got shit faced last night, and I'm recovering.
Yeah, you did. Maybe I was gonna say, just maybe bring your microphone a little closer to you. I don't know if maybe
I told you, like, you don't hear me very.
Yeah. I see what you're saying now. Well, it changed. I don't know if you lowered yourself or something, but you kind of got lowered like a minute ago.
Well, I can raise the gain up. Now, if I pull this closer, I'm knocking this over the stupid thing.
Breaking down the third wall. But this was it's a new weekend. We'll jump right into it. We'll start with the main event, UFC 283. It was a massive massive implications for the light heavyweight division, and also correcting the hurricane / shitstorm that has been the light heavyweight division almost pretty much since Jan got dethroned, but even since John Jones kind of left. I feel like
this is John Jones.
Finally, there's finally a little bit of like stability in the 205 division. And you know, it's crazy. We've been shouting out Jamal Hill on this show for a fucking long time. I've highlighted him. I've been, kind of championing his cause to get a title shot. Although I even said on the last show that I felt like maybe it was a little early. You know what I mean? I think I was trying to give him an out if he did lose to Glover, but at the same time, clearly not early. I mean, the guy's got the skills. He's got the skills. He's got the hands. He came in ready to fight Glover. More than Glover was ready to fight him, I think, for sure.
At the end when Glover retired, it made me wonder, like, how into it really was Glover? I mean, Glover was in there for he's fighting for the belt, but I mean, his performance. I know Jamal Hill like stepped the fuck up, but how much was Glover's heart really in it when you really think about it? Like now, in retrospect.
I don't know how much his heart was in it, but I know the UFC was 100% hoping Jamal Hill would win.
Oh, zero doubt.
Yeah, they were just like hoping so hard that Teixeira wouldn't win the championship, because then he would just retire. I'm sure he would have done the same thing if he would have got the belt. 100% he would have walked away. Like he would have walked away there in Rio. Got the belt. It's over and done with. Like unless he
and more turmoil in the light heavyweight division.
Oh my God, I know. But unless he just killed Jamal Hill, like I can't see him, wanting to go on. I did think that the fight could have been stopped. I did.
Probably.
Yeah. I thought Hill
round 4.
Yeah, I thought Hill was really starting to lay. I mean, look, he was fucked up too. Glover was definitely touching him, and especially we're on the ground a couple times. I want to say there was some pretty good ground and pound by Glover, but Hill was just like he was able to scramble out of so many positions that Glover's only real advantage was the grappling. But even in that, he wasn't able to capitalize.
He kind of down for long.
Fucked up.
He didn't keep him on the ground for long, and that's probably credit to Hill and him working on it, because he knew that's probably his biggest weakness is the ground game, especially against a massive guy like Glover with such experience and many submission wins on his record. So, I mean, he did a really good job defending. Glover couldn't keep him down. I said it the entire fight as I was like talking to the guys in the chat. I was like, Jamal Hill's he's just so much more spry. He had so much more, like his energy level was next level compared to
Glover's like 48 and fucking Hill's 22.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like, you can't even say like stamina. That Glover's built for 5 rounds. This was Jamal Hill's first 5 rounds. And he passed pretty well. I mean, he was gassed obviously at the end, but he like not gassed to where he just was like slow. He was still throwing punches. But I wonder, now that I say this out loud, is that Jamal Hill's like real skill, or was it just Glover was just that out of it, that tired from getting beat up the whole time, that he was able to still consecutively land throughout that 5th round going in? So there's little caveats you can get from that fight. But
there's a lot to break down to, and I wonder, hey, real quick, is this the first UFC like light heavyweight fight in I can remember that like maybe both guys aren't completely juiced out of their fucking mind? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, like you look at Jamal Hill and you're just like, all right, believable. Like, guy could work maybe fucking anywhere, right? You know what I mean? Like, he could work anywhere.
He looks like an average Joe type of guy, just really
right. You know what I mean? I mean, he definitely has like some muscle definition. I'm not saying that, but he just, you know what I mean? Like,
he's also got the worst chest tattoo I've ever seen.
He doesn't have a great chest
it's
tattoo.
An awful chest tattoo.
Glover looks like he's on the TRT a little, just a tad, just a little bit, little hit.
Shadow,
just a little hit. But
as a toy, so
they both looked like they were, you know what I mean? Like they both didn't look like they were roided out of their minds. You know what I mean? They did not look like they were fighting for the one.
Dominic Hill.
Chash.
No, but I mean Dominic Hill. Wow. Dominic Reyes doesn't really look that.
Dominic Hill.
There's no such thing as Dominic Hill.
Can you imagine if Jamal Hill fought like Dominic Cruz at 205? Imagine if anyone fought like Dominic Cruz at 205. First, you break your ankles. Second, fucking like.
I mean, bro, like, but I mean, if you look at Miocic, doesn't really look juiced. Gane doesn't really look juiced. Blades, maybe you can say that. Tuivasa certainly fucking isn't.
What the fuck?
Oh, never
mind. Stop. Go back to that first. Go back to the first name. Hold on. I have to.
I said Gane, but I was looking at heavyweight. Sorry, looking at heavyweight.
Court is in session. Excuse me.
What?
I said the court is in session. The almighty, the honorable Andy, the performance enhancing drug judge is now in session.
Okay, I'm going to run down the list.
Please present your names to the court.
I'm going to run down the list. Jerry.
Who?
Jerry.
For martial arts sake, we'll say Jerry's clean.
Glover, you said a little TRT'd.
I don't know. I'm just assuming at his age, right? You know what I mean? I'm hoping he is.
TRT Glover in like a year.
Dude.
He's not a lot. Like Crow Cop. He's gonna look like fucking TRT Crow Cop, bro.
Bro, TRT Glover would be fucking what Vito Belfort would always establish to be. Like actual nice guy, Christian. Like he's actually like a man of the Lord and like is such a nice dude. Not like a complete loser. Yeah. You know what I mean? Would fucking just be knocking fools out. I'll give a Michael Biss being an eye, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, dude.
So Ankalaev.
Yeah. Hey, Dagestan does not look. None of those boys passed the eye test. Not much of them, anyway. Okay. Jan, Polish power, baby.
Rakic.
Who?
Rakic.
Oh, come on.
Anthony Smith, Jamal Hill.
I don't. Anthony Smith
can make that weight. He missed the fucking weight cut.
Yeah, I was gonna say Anthony Smith. You know, maybe in the past, I don't know if he. It doesn't seem like not from his most recent pictures. You know what I mean? But dude, I've seen Anthony Smith look fucking yoked before too. You know, look. Let's get into the conversation. It's just how many people out there really think, like, honestly, you could get and look like most of these athletes do fucking naturally. Come on. Just think about it. Go to a gym and look at all the people who have perfect fucking bodies and tell me that they're not taking anything. Tell me that they're not raiding the GNC candy store. If you know what I'm saying. I remember in the Army, we literally used to take GNC supplements because there was known that they had fucking steroids in them. There was that one that was like Black Magnum or something like that. I can't remember. And it was like, dude,
premium condom for black dick ever.
You know what I'm talking about? It was like a GNC product, and then they wind up taking it off. And I remember like the Army was just like, oh, you can't take this because it was the same thing. You know what I mean? And it was just like always something. But I'm just saying,
doesn't want its soldiers to fucking have the ability to get shot and not feel anything.
I mean, dude, well, that's actually heroin, but yes, and adrenaline, a little mixed in together, Taliban cocktail. But listen, I'm just saying.
So my dad is a Marine, as I told, as I probably told in the past, he tells me all the time, not all the time, but he told me a story that this is right before he got out, and as my cat continues to play with his toy. Sorry, guys. So before he got out, right, it was like he got out like I think 6 months or so before Nam actually started. And in that time period when like you had the Cuban Missile Crisis and shit, he was kind of like on alert. And so there was a time when he was like, it was his weekend. Shadow. God damn it. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so there was a time when he got back from he was out, I guess. I don't know. He got back from on base and he's like, oh, like a couple MPs came up to him. He's like, hey, we need you in the infirmary now. Mandatory, like, you know, fitness, whatever the fuck. He's like, what the fuck? Okay. So they took him in, give him a check. And then they said, okay, we're going to give you some like anti-venom, whatever the fuck, in case you get shipped off. Right. So they stuck him with like 3 or 4 different needles. And he's like, dude, I've never in my life felt such a rush of like anger straight up whereas Andy got lost. Andy, governor. You got lost.
I have no idea what just happened.
What the fuck? Here, I'm gonna remove you and put you back in. Okay, that's weird.
Hey, sorry about that.
Anyway, he's like, I've never felt such a rush of like anger. He's like, I just wanted to go, and I was like, oh, I want to fight somebody. Give me the gun. I'm gonna go fucking kill people. Like he's like that. Like whatever they injected him with fucked him up like that bad, bro. Like he was ready to fucking just go. And I'm just like, God damn. And this is like 19. Again, this is right before Nam, so this is like 61. It's like 60.
You sure your dad wasn't doing some coke, bro?
No, he fucking, bro, he hates drugs. He hates fucking marijuana and shit. Only now that his knees are still shot. That
But it doesn't sound like he hates him. I mean, it sounds like he's getting a little.
No, he's like, I just want to kill the Viet Cong. Fuck those Asians. Like he was just going in, bro. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Right.
Imagine the shit they were injecting them back in the fucking back in.
And he didn't go to Vietnam.
No, he didn't go to Vietnam. He got out.
Imagine if he had.
He got out in like 62. Like
wow.
But 58, 59, 60. No, he got out in 61. He got out toward the end of 61.
I'm really glad your dad didn't have to go and
he was sweating because he spoke Spanish, he's bilingual. So he's like, there's a need for bilingual. And in the draft,
sure.
The draft was still going on. So he could have been redrafted, but he served his 4 years and he got out right before. So
right. He was definitely not a draft dodger.
He was not. He was not a Donald Trump.
He was not a Donald Trump or pick a U.S. president in the last 25 years. Oh, but anyway, yeah, definitely fair point. I going back, I don't remember how we got. Thanks for your father's service, but and I'm glad he didn't go to Vietnam. But yeah,
be born.
Yeah, definitely. But it's crazy though, because you do kind of get injected, with quite a bit of things when you're in, you know what I mean? And I remember that. I remember getting injected at like, I don't know, 5 o'clock in the morning or something, just being like sent down a hall, and then it was like bop, 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 bop. And you like go get your penicillin shot, and you're like all in a room, you get your ass out with everybody. It is a different life experience than what most humans I think are used to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know how they're doing it now. I'm assuming it's very similar now, but yeah, that was 2008 when I went in, when I was going in. So, and then, when you go overseas, depending on where you go.
Went in because you wanted to, or you went in because you just didn't have a choice, or you went in because your dad served too, right?
No, I got drafted. No, I'm just kidding, bro.
I was gonna say, I got 55 and didn't tell me.
Yeah, I got drafted by George Bush's fake draft. They had a fake draft. George Bush did Dick Cheney did a fake draft. And I signed up.
Fucking Bengali scammers, man.
Yeah, bro, they got me hard. So that was fucking awesome today. I'll bring that up. Fucking lost $400 fucking dollars to scammers today. So
that would piss me off too, bro.
It did. Lesson to self, or lesson to whoever. Life lesson. Learn my mics.
How did you get scammed?
Go inside. Give them cash or pay for it with their card reader.
Oh yeah, that's right. Just
in the gas station. The scammers are too good, guys. They're just too good. You know what I mean? Like the same thing. Like you said, yeah, some of them have them, bro. They have some of them that are so good that the little ones that they put back into the slot look exactly like the card readers. They even come with the fucking seals.
Yeah.
So that's not always like a guarantee. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I have always had a rule up until recently. I've kind of started breaking it. And then, yeah. So anyway.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. I'm getting the money back. It's okay that the bank's going to insure it. You know what I mean? But it's still, it's the wrong time of the month for it to happen too. So whatever. But anyway, they're scammers be abound, man. Just be out there. But let's get back to the fight. Yeah. Jamal Hill, look, the first round was really about establishing distance, and he was really establishing the jab.
Yeah.
Very, very, very hard. Yeah. He also was throwing some fucking head kicks, man. I mean, he was mixing strikes up that we haven't seen him do in other fights. Yeah. So it's cool when you see guys actually or kind of save their wads till they get to those championship fights or the fights to get into a title fight. Like, because a lot of times you do hear about that, guys be like, oh well, like I didn't even show all my game and stuff like that. And sometimes the fights sometimes it's bullshit. Sometimes right. And I think in Jamal Hill's case is a little bit of both. It's evolving and it's also him just showcasing, probably realizing I want to say probably in the second round, you really saw his corner and his energy just really go. I mean, he was confident from the moment he walked in. He really was. He never stopped looking at Glover.
Never shied away from the big moment. He's in Brazil facing a Brazilian legend.
Dude,
for the belt, for his first ever shot at the belt. Bro, the lights could not have been bigger on
They're just yelling at him, bro. They're doing the fucking death to America better than Iran, but they're doing it fucking death to him, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, the Brazilians, you just even when he won, it was
dude.
when he won
audio.
Yeah,
pay-per-view because it was at the bar and the bar didn't play the audio for some reason this time around. So I'm like, I didn't hear any of the audio that happened during the entire pay-per-view. But I mean, just watching.
I didn't watch a lot of the. I mean, I didn't hear a lot of the audio myself either. Like when I was
watching the prelims though, oh, they were fucking just like a typical Brazil crowd, just hype off their fucking minds. You know,
death to you if you're not Brazilian. Yep, 100%.
Straight up, bro.
In the third round, there was a head kick that Teixeira Hill landed, and it really, I think that
the third round though was Glover's best fight because that was when he had the most top control when he had that takedown. He was doing little things here and there, but it wasn't anything like super duper.
He didn't do a lot of damage though.
I was just about to say he did a lot of damage inflicting work, but he still worked. And up until like that first half of the third round, I was like, okay, you know, this is when Glover's going to start fighting back. He's going to make it a little competitive. And then Hill, recognizing that once he was able to get up, he closed that gap and he won the round with the amount of damage and effectiveness with his strikes and his counters. And he had Glover going backwards. He had him backtracking pretty good toward the end of that round. And then he carried that momentum into the fourth, like you said, where at that point, I think we both agree if there was a time to stop the fight, it definitely would have been that fourth because Glover was just getting pummeled.
Well, even in the fifth, I think you could have, but I think in the third, like you make a good point. He did start really backing him up in the third, and there was a specific reason though. It wasn't just strikes; it was that uppercut. He was catching him with that uppercut because he was realizing he timed Glover's takedown attempts, his feints, and so anytime Glover even feinted, he was catching him with that fucking uppercut. And then he was also making him go backwards with that uppercut because he was catching him with a couple, like, I think it was like a jab across, and then he'd fucking come with that uppercut. And that uppercut was paying dividends. You know what I mean? So,
my favorite punch in all of striking.
And because, by the fourth round, like, Glover's face was a fucking mess, dude.
Oh, it was bleeding all over the place. That gash over his eye was pretty bad. Was it the third or the fourth? No, I think it was the third that they looked at the gash, right?
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, and he was like, get the fuck out of here. Come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, I loved when he fucking said that. I was just like, oh my God, how can you not love Glover? You know what I mean? Like,
bro, Glover's a fucking man, bro.
He's a tank. Yeah, but at the same time, it's just like, man, I hate to see him. That, you know, we'll talk about that with Shogun too, but it's just like that's his last fight. He did wind up, you know, putting the gloves down at the end. You know, Hill went on to win.
Nearly as egregious as Shogun's last fight.
Not nearly, but unanimous decision for Jamal Hill.
Was it? Was it 50-45 or 49-46?
Oh man, I didn't fucking put the scores on for this week. I can't remember. You have to look it up real quick. But either way, I mean, it was clear. It was very clear who won, and Jamal Hill, you know, getting the belt. It was cool to see him in the moment after he broke down. He realized like what the fuck happened, and just because you could tell up to that moment he was just like, you know, holding in, and then
50-44s. They gave him 10-8s probably for that fourth round.
Bro, yeah. See, yeah,
that's crazy. That he's in Brazil. Brazil judges would have like tried to give anything to Glover. No, he got waxed. Glover got waxed.
No, he got waxed, and I mean, he got waxed. I mean, dude, look, Jamal Hill was just faster. He was younger. He was able to take way more punishment. You know, Glover was taking a lot of
punishment. Glover landed some clean shots, but they weren't. It didn't stagger him at all.
No, I mean, Hill's face was fucked up at the end of the fight. It's not like he didn't get away unscathed. Both eyes were fucking dented in. He had some bruises on the cheeks. He was swollen. The Glover definitely hit him, but I think that was more towards the end because, like I said,
he had the mouse starting from like round 3 on. He had the mouse.
Yeah, well, like, but that's because I want to say like the same thing, like in round 2, but definitely in round 3. I think Hill realized he's winning this fight. Like he's got Glover.
Oh yeah, he's got in the bag. He's like, just don't do anything stupid. Don't get caught. That was
exactly.
round
I think
3
he was just
on.
worried about
Don't get caught.
yeah, don't get caught. And of course, Glover's always got that fucking power, which that was one thing I was gonna say. I don't know if I don't think he was, but it does kind of seem like he was fighting more of like almost like a Bobby Green type of fight where he wasn't trying to put Glover out. And it's just like I've seen Jamal Hill put guys out, so I know he's got the power.
It's smart from Hill because it shows more growth and more development because he didn't overextend himself. He didn't
No, for sure.
Try to fucking go above and beyond what he needed to. He picked his moments, picked his shots, backed off when he needed to back off, reset, especially by round 2 when he got his distance. At that point, I feel like he had command of the situation. You talk about octagon control. I always talk about octagon control. He was firmly in control. It was his pace, his fight. And when you're in your pace, your fight, you don't have to do things that are overextending your abilities, overextending the necessity of that particular microsecond. You know what I mean? So he was able to keep himself composed. That's the word, composure. He was composed throughout the entire fight. And any fighter that's composed throughout a fight has a shot in some capacity, whether they're down or up. As long as you're composed, you still have a shot because you're still able to process efficiently. And Hill processed so efficiently. He was very efficient with his work. He wasn't winging punches. He wasn't throwing random shit. He wasn't gassing himself like that.
He was doing doing great. Yeah.
Tremendous job.
Definitely has the skills to compete with everybody in the top 5. So I think I don't
know.
Fury
after the fight. Congrats, champ. I'm coming for you.
Yeah, I know. It's just like,
ooh, the boogeyman is out to get you, motherfucker.
I don't know if Yuri. I don't know. Yeah, but it's funny. That's because his nickname is Sweet Dreams.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, Yuri. That's an interesting matchup. That's a good.
I mean, we're pretty confident we know what the first matchup is going to be, bro. It's going to be on Kalayev, I think. Or it's going to be Anthony Smith. But Anthony Smith kind of fucked himself by not missing weight or by missing weight, dude.
I don't know. I think he's okay. I think Anthony Smith will be next for the title, to be honest with you.
I've got Ankalaev, and then
if it's Ankalaev, then Ankalaev's going to be the champ.
Probably, because that's next level fucking ground. Next level ground game, younger. Yeah. He's more spry than Glover was. He's got power. Really tough matchup for Hill.
Well, before we move on to the next fight, too, the only thing I was going to highlight, I forgot to mention this, but in the into the 4th, Glover's corner actually was thinking about stopping the fight. But that was when they checked the eye. So it wasn't the 3rd, it was the 4th. That's when they checked the eye. And so that's when they decided to continue. I want to bring that up because not all corners are the same. Not all corners are equal. Anyway, Jamal Hill, new light heavyweight champion. Glover retires. Salute Glover. You know, what a fucking great
career.
What a great Hall of Fame career. The other half of it should have been in the UFC too. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But a lot of people don't know that, Glover kind of almost, robbed himself, whoever you want to blame. Circumstances be damned, but you know what I mean? He didn't do certain things to get his paperwork, you know what I mean? His ability to work in the States when he was younger. I think he got caught up in some kind of like something happened when he was younger. I can't remember the story, and I don't want to just, guess, but I think he was caught up in some kind of, way to come to the US, and it turned out not being, right. And then he got caught up in that and got caught doing it. You know what I mean? So I think his government, or I don't know if it was I don't know if the Brazilian government flagged him or something, but early on there was like basically he wasn't able to come to the US and work. And so when Glover was actually like at his prime was when fucking, probably not too long after John Jones arrived on the scene, probably around that same time. So probably around the time Sugar Rashad and Rampage and those guys would have been, holding the titles and stuff like that. But right before John Jones came on, I want to say that was like the years that like the MMA hardcores consider Glover to be like in his prime.
So that's like between 2009 2011, right?
No.
John Jones was on the scene.
Oh yeah. I guess it'd be more. Yeah, exactly. So maybe more like 07 to like 10 or whatever.
Yeah, talking about Shot and And Rampage, that's 2006 through 8.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking more. Yeah, definitely. Well, that's when John Jones came on the scene. That's when he started fighting.
When did he debut officially?
Like 2007, 2008, something like that. I mean, it was like.
When did John Jones first debut in the UFC?
2008. On the website UFC.com, they say UFC lightweight.
They say
Jones made his UFC debut in 2000.
Hey Google, thank you. We're gonna have, yeah, baby. We're definitely gonna have a compilation of all the fucking Hey Googles we've asked over this.
Right?
We definitely will. But all right, well, let's move on. Co-main event.
Well, no, I was gonna say, I guess the segue went away because we mentioned Hall of Fame. I know you put it for much later, but I guess I wanted, since we mentioned Hall of Fame, I wanted to mention the Jose Aldo.
We'll get to it, my friend. All right, let's move on to the co-main event. Brandon Moreno versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Brandon Moreno defeats Deiveson Figueiredo in I mean, no one would have guessed how it ended. In all things, huh?
It was anticlimactic.
It was anticlimactic, but the fight was fucking fantastic, and it was definitive.
Moreno. Remember, I had
called losing the whole fight.
I had said on the podcast last week, I was like, this fight is going to be two things. But really, one thing is how much has Moreno like evolved in the fights, and how did the training camp affect him, like the loss of Krause. And we found out the loss of Krause didn't affect him that much in terms of his performance.
You wouldn't have known.
And he mentioned it after. He mentioned it in the post-fight. You didn't watch the post-fight press conferences. So he mentioned it in the post-fight. They asked him, they asked him, like, what was, that going on? He's like, it was rough at first because, I was with James, and, and he wished him well. He's like, I hope that, that things will get figured out, and, it'll be an okay result for James in the end. He did mention that, so that kudos to him.
Yeah, he's gonna get figured out in prison, dude.
Yeah, he's gonna ban from all MMA. So that's not.
Moreno better hope he's not involved in any of that. He better. His team, his family, whoever the fuck. Yeah. I hope to God he's not involved in any of that,
bro. But no, he mentioned that the camp started out rough, and then he ended up moving to Vegas. To finish his camp, and he mentioned I don't know the guy's name that was in his corner, but he mentioned like he was integral in terms of everything. He's like, I just I stayed focused, I absorbed what I was taught, basically, more or less is what he was saying, and it led me to the result. Thank you to him, thank you so much. I said that they met in like a central location, which was Vegas for the fight, but he said that I believe his cornerman or the guy is based in Dallas, so he said his next fight he's probably gonna end up having to go to Dallas to train. If he's going to train with the same guy. So he did mention that tidbit. But no, as I was mentioning before, we mentioned my key highlight for Moreno winning the fight was going to be how much has he evolved, because we had called it. I called it. Deiveson Figuedo is what he is. He's not, I'm not going to say he's peaked out, but, there aren't too many more pages for him to evolve in this stage at 125. So, and we found it out. Moreno learned from the previous fights, and was able to take advantage of all the openings probably that he would have seen in the past.
He didn't take any of Figgy's baits. He didn't take any of the stuff.
No,
he literally just focused on winning the fight.
Again, and composure. He was composed throughout that entire fight. Even when Figuedo had him in a couple situations, he easily got out of them, figured his way out, and he did phenomenal, dude. He did phenomenal in those fights. When I was watching the fight live, I thought Figuedo was more effective in round one. I don't think anybody gave him round one. Everybody.
How about that guillotine?
Yeah.
How about that? Hey,
it was a tight.
You might not think anyone gave him round one, but there was a fucking judge, if you can believe it or not, who gave Figgy one round. I don't know which round it was. But there was a.
Huh? 2-3 are clear. Moreno round.
Nothing's clear, my friend.
No, 2 and 3 were clear rounds for Moreno. Round one was the only one.
DC even said something. Like they were reading off the scorecards, and DC was just like, what fucking judge gave him one? And then fucking John Anik was just like, all right, DC, all right, champ, gotta move on. Because it was like, yeah, I'm sure they probably been telling him
it had to be round one because that was the most That was the
Yeah,
most effective that Figuedo was. He caught him in that guillotine. I could tell though when he had the guillotine that Moreno's going to be all right because his head was to the side, and that's always the key when you're fighting a guillotine. You're going to push up against the arm. You're going to get your head on the side so you can pop it out. And
but there was two guillotines too, right at the beginning, like that first.
That was the one. That was the one that was tight, but he had his head to the side and was composed, and he was able to push off. And eventually, Figuedo gave up the squeeze because he didn't want to burn his arms out. And then the second one was a little more loose. He got out of that a lot quicker. Figuedo was starting to get a little gassed. He'd been hit a few times, so that was easier for him. But no, I thought round one was Figuero's best round of the fight. He could have gotten that round. He landed some clean shots, but Moreno was, as you mentioned, not biting on his feints. He was able to get his shit in as well. And that was, to me, a pretty back and forth round. If you gave it to Figuedo, in real time, I gave it to Figuedo. I have to go back to see if I really would still. But rounds 2 and 3 were clear Moreno rounds. Very clear. He was sharper, faster. He knew, basically, like you said, he kind of knew what he was going to get, and he knew what to throw back in that situation. He knew the counter. And then he was able to put his foot on the gas pedal. He was able to push more as the fight was going on. He was gaining more confidence in each round. The more he kept hitting Figueroa, the more Figueroa didn't have answers for Moreno's offense. So it was a wonderful performance by Moreno.
Yeah, Moreno. And then, there was no eye poke. It was a knuckle. It shut the eye.
It was a knuckle.
Perfectly. It was a punch that shut the eye, but it was a knuckle, which is completely legal. And, a lot. I even when I thought it was an eye poke at first, I was like,
no, it wasn't an eye poke. It wasn't an eye poke.
But I thought it was fine because in the second round there was a point where they were both on the ground and Figgy was going for an ankle lock. Yeah, and instead he fucking kicked Figgy. He kicked fucking Brandon Moreno right in the fucking head, dude. Yeah,
they looked at the ref. They're like, "Yo, that's a grounded opponent."
He looked right at Moreno looked right at him. He was like,
"Yeah," he said it's a grounded opponent. And then it was it wasn't Herb, it was Goddard. Goddard is like, no,
it was Goddard. Yeah, Goddard.
It landed on the chest.
I didn't see nothing. Go ahead.
Chest.
Okay. Yeah. But no. Yeah, like where is the fucking where's the judge? There's this sideline judge to fucking be like, hey, no, he did kick him in the head. You gotta give him a fucking break. Like
that's not.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, it is. They do that. They have earpieces where the fucking commission talks to them, tells them what to fucking do on certain things. They do that. So it's like you would think that, I know it's just not in the rule set, but they should amend that to where the sideline commission can be like, hey, that was we actually looking at the replay. Yeah, he did, or no, he didn't fucking hit him in the eye. You know what I mean? You're giving this guy fucking extra 5 minutes for nothing. Instead of that, while they're giving some guy 5 minutes, how about you look at the footage while you're giving this guy time off anyway and determine if it was a real eye poke. If it was, let him have the 5 minutes. If it wasn't, or a grind shot or whatever, resume the fight right there. And it's like, okay, made a mistake. But again, commissions can't make mistakes. So
the borderline groin strikes, when you taking somebody out of the game kind of with that. If you hit somebody on the belt line and they rule a groin strike, that's a legal hit if it's on the belt line, it's a legal hit,
and that's why
it's followed up on, and you just ruin that opportunity. There should be something somewhere to make up for that difference, because you just ruined an opportunity for a guy to pounce on that moment with that.
Or
I don't feel like that.
Or the vice versa. You're making my point. Like, if we're the vice versa, because if you have a guy who didn't get hit in the nuts, like so many fights we've seen, and you see it, and it's like, oh, the guy's acting. It's like, dude, okay, we all could see he's acting. We could all see that he didn't get hit.
They should take a point,
right? Or no, because at that point, no, because at that point, it's really on the referee. So it really, the referee should be the one to be like, okay, actually, no, we reviewed it and it was not a legal shot. They do the same shit in football and every other sport. You know what I mean? But it's just like this thing with, it's because it's the commission. The commission has this thing where they don't want to be seen as in the wrong or admit to being wrong. That's why they don't want refs doing interviews and shit. And it's just
but also don't forget, they're in Brazil and it was Figuedo that kicked Moreno. So,
Good point. But speaking of Brazil, so obviously, Moreno wins the fight and fucking, gets on the microphone and fucking
Viva Mexico, perros! Bro, he just said long live Mexico, you dogs. You bitches.
Oh my
All
god,
the
bro.
Mexico bitches.
It's so fucking hilarious.
Bro,
And they just boot, bro. They would not allow him to speak. They were just
bro,
like,
you saw when he was running, they're throwing fucking beer and shit at him, they were
he was
throwing
laughing the whole time. They
Yeah.
were like, dude, there was that one security guard who was like 3 times his fucking size,
Yeah.
who was just like showering over him, taking all. He was like, dink, dink. Like there's some CTE for you. And yeah, no, but I saw that. I actually got that in the notes. I'm like, yeah, he literally ran out while they were trying to pelt his ass.
And it wasn't Jose Aldo running out into the crowd. He's like, no, he's running. He's Colby Covington and out of there.
Oh no, dude.
He probably took the first flight home, bro. By the way, is it in the notes? Because forgive me, you know me, I don't really read the notes very well. What did you think about the Pantoja after fight? Oh no, it's not in the notes. Did you hear what happened with Pantoja?
No, I heard something happened, but I don't know exactly.
Pantoja weighed in as the backup fighter. He made weight, just in case. After Moreno won, they was in the back. One of the first guys to come up to him was Pantoja. Pantoja congratulated him, like, hey, congratulations, you know, whatever, like, all good. And then he's like, hey, so are we fighting like 2 months from now, 3 months from now? When are we going to fight, right? When am I going to get my shot at the belt? And Figuedo's like, dude, like, you know, I get that you want a shot. You're probably next, but like, let me have my moment with my family, bro. Like, I just won in Brazil against fucking my greatest rival ever. Let me have this moment. And he said that Pantoja started becoming a little bit more aggressive toward him and stuff, and they eventually had to be like kind of separated, but not really. So
yeah. I get okay. Yeah, now I remember what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, hey, dude, you gotta strike when it's hot, dude. You know what I mean? Sorry, you're here with your family. You know, but I gotta fucking get this title shot in. And Doja ain't got no time for this, dude. You know, we gotta make it hot. You just came off the belt. This is still, you know, entertainment. You're still the camera's still rolling. We got opportunities to make here. What are we? What are we
well,
doing?
the cameras are. You'll get the what is it? The glory and agony, or like the behind the scenes or whatever. You'll see that, but
the thrill and the agony.
Yeah, thrill and the agony. Yeah, that's such a good. That's a good line. UFC did well with that.
Yeah, I mean, they could like not like they. Yeah. You're right. They did. Let me give them a nod. Okay, try not to be the complete fucking but yeah, Figgy, I just, Figueroa, he might be, he's just, I don't know, bro. He's such a fucking weird dude. He, in the post fight, they're talking and, they're interviewing. He starts taking his gloves off. I'm thinking, this fucking guy's retiring. He fucking lost. He's done. He got the eye poke. He's done. You know what I mean? It's like not worth it. Takes the glove. He might be the first guy in UFC history to fucking actually take the gloves off to announce he's moving up in the weight division.
Like the gloves get bigger when he moves up in weight, right?
Yeah. He's like, I got to take off these gloves. They're smaller. Moving up to 135, bigger gloves. So these ones I'm going to retire right now. But I am not retiring from the sport of MMA, even though it's completely what it looks like. And I know that's what everyone's thinking.
No, by definition, we're used to that. So you're right. With boxers, they do it all the time. They take their gloves off and they do it just so they get the wraps off, because the wraps, their hands are hurting from punching. Figuedo didn't do as much punching clearly as Moreno did, but he's probably thinking like, oh, the wraps are tight. Wants to get the wraps off. Wants to get the glove off. That's probably the real, obviously, like thought process behind it. But yeah, like the optics was like, dude, you're not fucking retiring, are you? No fucking way.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, how he's watched UFC before. Clearly, when a guy starts taking his fucking gloves off, especially when a guy just lost the belt, you start thinking to yourself, you know what I mean? To me, Figgy is like one of these guys where he's like, he says shit to get attention. Like he says shit to get attention. He doesn't speak from the heart. He's not authentic. He just says shit to get attention. Whereas Moreno is just like who he is. He's very entertaining. He's charming. He's witty. You know what I mean? Like, and Figgy is just, I don't know, bro. He tries like way too hard. And I think it's stuff like that where it's just like, dude, can you just stop and just fucking say, good job, Brandon Moreno. I lost fair and square. I'm moving up the fucking weight division because I can't fucking keep cutting this fucking weight anymore. It's killing me.
Yeah.
Dude, what's going on?
I mean, bro, what's crazy though, when you think about it, I wonder how Figueiredo's going to look when he gets to 35. But freaking, what's it called? It's so interesting when you see like who he's moving at 35. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, some of the other guys like your Ricky Simone's, your Pedro Munoz's, your Dominic Cruzes, they're all of similar size and build. But I mean, when you start looking at and Cheeto Vera, that's another guy of similar size and build. But when you start looking at some of these other guys like Nurmagomedov, Sonya Dong, Rob Font, Corey Sandhagen, Dagashvili, Peter Yan, those are all different builds, either taller or significantly more muscular than Davison Figueroa. So I'm very curious to see how he adapts to that change. You know he's going to get a major fight with a top 15 guy as soon as he moves in. I mean, you know, you're going to put him against a lower rank like a Jack Shore or a Saeed Nurmagomedov or Adrian Yanez. And not even Saeed. Saeed's a similar build to Umar. Like Chris Gutierrez, but even Chris Gutierrez is pretty muscular himself. Like I said, maybe a Ricky Simone or a Pedro Munoz. If you want to put him in the top 10, give him a shot at the top 10 immediately. But I mean, those guys are just built differently in terms of like their physical stature. So I'm very curious to see how he adapts when he moves up to 35. I mean, that's always a big question when anybody moves up in general, is how they adapt to the physical changes. But especially with Figueroa, because Figueroa is tiny for what it's worth, you know.
And also, is this legit, or is this just post losing the belt woes and being like, hey,
I don't think.
You know what I mean?
I think when you move up in weight, like I think that's most people are legit. How many times do you see people say, "I'm going to move up in weight," and they don't?
Yeah, but to your point to what you just said, a ton of times. To your point to what you just said, I mean, he's not very big. He's actually pretty small, and so he's going to move up and fight massive fucking 135ers.
Yeah,
you know
like
what I mean?
Aljo just seems like a fucking mismatch off the bat. You know,
right? Exactly. Like he's not winning that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, to me, that's the other thing too. That's why I say, I'm like, is this legitimate? Like, what's the point? I mean, dude,
he's got no other, bro. They're not gonna, as much as you know, it's a good fight all around. Like that's a conclusive end to their series. There's no other reason really for you to make a Figuedo versus Moreno 5. And he's got no other real path to the belt unless someone like a Kai Kara France or a Pantoja.
Wonder where he's at with his deal. Well, he was just the champ, so he's probably at least on. He's probably on for at least a couple more fights.
Probably, but I mean, where's he gonna go? Because I mean, he can go. I guess go to Bellator 135. Because Bellator doesn't have a flyweight. They don't have a 125. They start at 35.
They're good, but they've been talking about starting one so that they would pay Figgy pretty good money to come over.
Horiguchi's been asking that they do that, and then that'll give Mighty Mouse an opportunity to go back to Bellator if he wanted to make some extra money, get some more publicity. They pull a favor with well, no, never mind. He's won. I'm thinking Ryzen. My bad.
I was like,
that. My bad.
Okay.
I thought. My bad.
Yeah.
Yep. Because Horiguchi asked for it. Yeah. Start from there.
No, I mean, and it's insane. I mean, Horiguchi was in the UFC. You know what I mean? So it's
he couldn't get over Mighty Mouse.
He couldn't get over Mighty Mouse, and the UFC just refused to promote him, basically. So he was just like, I'm pretty sure they actually cut his contract, I think.
I think he might have asked, and they said,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think they actually released him from his contract to go somewhere else, which is just insane when you look at the guy's prospect. But I mean, they fucking traded.
I mean, they did that with so many of the guys. There's so many guys that they wanted.
I don't give a fuck what anyone says. It is literally the worst trade in all of fucking MMA. I mean, in all of sports, maybe, dude. It's insane. You didn't get shit for the trade. I mean. Cool. Jorge Masvidal was popular for a year and a half.
You got a UFC all-time clip of the guy you traded for.
You got the baddest motherfucking champion. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, who gives a fuck, dude? I mean, like, yeah. Well, yeah, anyway. Okay. So yeah, Brandon Moreno goes on. New champ. He was the interim champ. Now he's like the double champ, interim, one single champ. I don't know, the champ. The belts fucking mate together and form a new belt. I don't fucking know how it works, but he's the one champ now. UFC champ.
He has the title because he had the belt already. It's just now instead he just removed interim.
Now it's official.
Yes.
Now it's official. He's 2-time. All right. Good job of Brandon Moreno. Moving on. Gilbert Burns, dude, put fucking demolished. Yeah, he put a dominating performance on against Neil Magny, dude.
Yeah, it was such outclass. He's outclassed Magny. Like, that was like, it showed Magny is just, he's a good fighter, but he's not on that He's not on that
He's just
level.
not on that level. Yeah, I mean, his streak was on guys not on that level anyway. So,
Yeah.
you know, what's the line? He is exactly who we thought he is. You know, it's that
But he
fucking
didn't
play.
get let off the hook.
Yeah. Huh?
I said, but he didn't get let off the hook.
He didn't get let off the hook. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Definitely didn't make it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gilbert Burns, dude. I mean, Storino. I mean, we've talked about it so many times on the show. You know, with like his, I mean, he came out there just being himself, dude. He's got good vibes, good energy, super entertaining, great interview. And he comes out there with the skills to pay the bills and just, dude, takes Magny down immediately. Just like, no room for nothing else. Pressure.
Yeah.
Fucking goes in there, arm triangles him to death, and then gets up and calls out fucking Kobe Covington. I fucking love that.
Yeah.
I love it. It was
Great.
It was great to have the style to go in.
Fight, you know, they asked him about the call out in the post fight, and he's like, dude, he's like, I'm not bullshitting you. He's like, I was at a Brazilian concert in Miami like a month ago.
Oh yeah, I read that. Yeah.
And he's like, I said Kobe. He's like, oh, Kobe's actually a nice guy. He's like, we talked for. He's like, he called me over, and I'm thinking, oh, he wants to.
What is Kobe doing at a Brazilian concert? By the way, like, dude, that to me, that more than the whole interaction. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's what blew my mind. That he
probably had like a Brazilian call girl and wanted to take her on a nice date.
100%. Oh,
had to be. Yeah, no, but he's like, oh, he's a really nice guy. He said, yeah, you know what I do is just a shtick, bro. Like, you know, it's just an act. But you know, I love you. I'm a big fan. I love what you do. You know, like I'd love to potentially fight you one day. Da da da.
Da da da.
So
da 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 da. Yeah. I think it would be a good fight. I don't know if he gets over on Covington, but it would be great to see that.
I mean, bro,
we didn't really see him against Kazmat, so against Chimaev.
He took Khamzat to the limit, so he's got a real shot.
But they didn't grapple really. We didn't really get to see him and Covington will grapple.
Oh no, well Chimaev took him down, and
he took him down. But I'm saying we didn't get really to see like Gilbert's like real like up against like a wrestler like that, because that's what Kobe will do to him. Kobe will grab him. Kobe will throw him up against the fence. I mean, honestly,
Kobe stand up. So it's going to be a primarily ground-based attack. But I mean,
Kobe's got that jaw, bro. You could break his jaw like 3 times in one fight, and he doesn't care. You know.
Yeah, but you know, at the same time, like
they'll wire it shut in between rounds,
bro. But the thing about
they won't be able to talk.
No, they won't do that. No, the thing about Durinho though is the fact that freaking what's it called? He's got a really, as we just evidently saw, he's got a solid fucking ground game. The question is, how does he deal with the constant pressure and the wrestling? And Colby, once he gets him down, being able to keep him down. Durinho can, and I guess the question I'm trying to ask then in essence is how is Durinho's offense from the bottom? How's his bottom game? Pause. So, I mean, it's
pretty good. I mean, it's fantastic. He probably has one of the better bottom games in the whole division.
Yeah. So I mean, it's an intriguing matchup. He's got a real shot. You say you don't think he's going to get over on him. I could see a 29-28 split decision either way in that fight. I don't think that's.
I mean, that's even.
I don't think that's a finished fight. I don't think that's going to be.
I don't think they're making that fight anyway. I would love if he got that fight, but
if Usman wins, they're not going to give him Covington again.
Yeah, Covington wouldn't take that fight anyway.
I'm sorry, if Leon Edwards manages to retain, they'll give him Covington. If he doesn't, and by the way, that's a bad matchup for Leon and Colby. Oh, that's a bad matchup for Leon. But if Usman manages to win the belt,
name a guy who Kobe's not a bad matchup for. Besides Usman.
Burns is not a bad matchup for fucking Colby or vice versa. It's not that bad.
No, well, I don't know. Like I said, if
Marino's got the stand up, so he's got the check there.
He can have the stand up. Kobe's beat plenty of guys with the stand up.
He's got a good stand up, but
he does.
It's not. He's
got a good chin too. He can take a punch.
You're
He'll
right.
Take a punch to fucking grab that takedown all day.
It's not.
He don't care about it.
I mean, bro. Other than Durinho, the hardest hitter in the division is Usman, and he did take some of Usman shots, but he also folded a couple times on Usman shots where he got knocked down and he had to survive. So
what about Leon, mate? Leon connected with the head kick, mate. It's pretty strong.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like stand up with like hands.
I know what you're saying.
It's part of the stand up. You're right.
Masvidal probably. Don't forget about Darren Till too. Darren Till has some switch off power, but Masvidal probably has the. I would say Masvidal probably has the most power.
He's not even ranked anymore.
Darren Till's not even.
Well, no, Darren Till is in 185 now. They have him at 85.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's not 170 anymore. But yeah.
But no, I mean, bro, I like the matchup. I'll go out on a limb right now. At this current second, as prisoner of the moment, I would take Burns over Covington.
All right,
not by much, but
all right. If that's fair, if that matchup gets made, I'll remember. If that matchup gets made, I'll remember that. Okay, let's move on. Next fight: Jessica Andrade versus Lauren Murphy.
She pieced up Murphy something.
I called this last week, and I fucking said. I don't know how it's being sanctioned. I literally fucking said that. I fucking
you also said that she was going to win via vicious KO, and I said no, she's going to win by dominating decision, and she's going to piece up Murphy. Look who won the pony.
You know what though? I couldn't have possibly predicted that fucking Lauren Murphy had a head made of fucking ice, and that her corner also are fucking made of ice. I didn't realize it.
No, not ice, bro. Like iron.
No, ice. They were cold as fuck. Iron, no, dude. Iron's tough and beats the shit out of stuff. Ice is just cold and fucking like melts. And Lauren Murphy got melted.
Yeah,
melted.
She didn't fold. She didn't fold. She just took her fucking lumps and took them over and over and over and over and over again. But
yeah, bro.
Stood strong. She still stood strong.
It's only because Andrade decided to fucking play fucking technical boxer. That's the only reason. Because I was sitting there the whole time. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, ref, corner, or Andrade, stop the fight. I mean, what the fuck? One of three of you guys should have a moral obligation to stop this massacre.
Bro, Jessica Andrade looked like peak Muhammad Ali, where he was just like toy with fighters, just pop, pop, pop.
He was literally the juggernaut from Modern Warfare. When you're in Modern Warfare and you hear the boom, that's her. Yeah. That's her, and she's coming to fuck you up in a full bear suit, dude. Yeah. She grabbed Murphy and she just like, dude, it was almost like she was like, they were just like they turned her around. They were just like inputted the cheat codes for Murphy. Like in Star Trek, you can like, when you get to another ship, the enemy, takes over the ship. You can like fucking commandeer that ship because you're all Federation or whatever. That's like what they did to Lauren Murphy. They hijacked her. They took the shields down. It was like, wop, 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 wop. Mike Tyson's punch out. What's up? Wop, 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 wop. I mean, dude, the judges awarded Andrade the decision. They should have fucking awarded Lauren Murphy a restraining order, bro. It was insane. Like the amount of fucking hits she just kept taking.
It was bad. And bro, you know how bad it was? You answered 30-25, 30-25, 30-26. They gave 10-8 rounds. Two of the judges gave 10-8 rounds for all three fucking rounds. That's how bad she got mollywopped.
Yeah, dude, it was literally the female version of Holloway Gator.
Yeah, you put that. It makes fucking sense, doesn't it?
It literally is, dude. Yeah. This week on Hillbilly Beatdown. No, dude, like Andrade really. There was one point, however, I got to give this to Murphy and acknowledge it. She almost got a fucking Kimura. Andrade got a little too big on her bridges. Yeah, fucking was just like, let me go into her world for a second. I want to test it. Yeah, and Murphy was just like, no, you don't, because fucking Andrade pulled out of there with such desperation. She pelted herself backwards.
Well, if that was round one that she did that, Murphy really had a shot to win.
Yeah,
but by that I think it was like toward the end of round 2 that she had that, and they were slippery. Murphy was bleeding everywhere. So, I mean, that's how she was able to kind of slip out eventually. But round 1, that would have been cinched.
Round 1, it would have been cinched, but it was not round 1. I think it was more like round 4. But
yeah,
still all in all, it's like I said, it's one of those fights where, Andrade wins the fight and she does it like amazingly, but at the same time, it's like, well, how much credit can you give her for beating Lauren Murphy? And obviously it was such a lopsided skill set that, I mean, you can't, it's one of those things where when you beat somebody so bad like that, and it almost doesn't really equate to like a ledge up. You know what I mean?
And the thing about the flyweight division, I was telling one of my friends this because she watches too. One of my
Well, hold on, real quick before you say. Let me say this. The other thing too, Andrade said at the end of the fight, you know, everyone says I'm not a technical boxer. I'm not technical, but it's just like, dude, well, okay, you were technical against Lauren Murphy. Like, okay, good job. Like what is that though?
You were technical against like a bag. It was basically against a punching bag.
Right, and that's I'm like, well, that's not bragging about much, you know what I mean? That's why I'm like, why didn't you fucking finish the fight in the second or third round? You could have easily done that. Yeah. You know what I mean? But yeah, to me, that's one of that is something that the UFC and like the UFC promotes that kind of shit. They promote those type of fights. And to me, that just makes no sense.
That was purely made for Brazilian entertainment. That's all. There wasn't really any true consequence to it because, you know,
I don't even think the Brazilians were like fucking super into it, dude.
Oh yeah, they were. We hear ole every time she get fucking.
Yeah, but even after, I mean, you just see her face, and it's just like, dude. Honestly, probably in Brazil, Lauren Murphy's getting a lot of respect just for fucking hanging in there like that. You know what I mean? Like,
she won fans.
Yeah, exactly.
I was telling one of my coworkers. She watches UFC sometimes. Like, she kind of fell off, but she'll catch it periodically if it's on at a bar or something. And she was saying, "Oh, like, yo, she's a monster. She's a monster." And I was like, you know, two things. A, you clearly don't remember Zhang Weili. She's the fucking boogie woman of the fucking division.
You clearly don't remember Cyborg.
They said no. I'm talking about 125 or 115. Sorry, 115.
I know what you're saying, but that your friend is alluding.
I was like, they send Chinese dissenters to be fucking training partners with Zhang Weili so they can get their asses beat. But no, that's one. Two, the calling card about Andrade. The calling card about Andrade is, I've seen her at least in 2 different fucking shows live. She does great in almost every fight that's non-title. When it comes to the big show, she just doesn't get it done. And that's the thing now. So at 4, are they going to vault her over Lemos? Probably. To me, Lemos and Andrade is the clear fight to make between them. You're not going to give her Rose again. Maybe you give her Cookie Monster. Have they fought before? I don't think they have, right?
You give Cookie Monster to Andrade after that, dude? What?
I mean, that'll be a way to propel fucking Andrade against Zhang Weili again. But I mean, I'm
gonna go out on a limb here. I don't ever want to see Cookie Monster fight again. Okay, not interested. Like, yeah, I'm good. No, Andrade should go. She should keep going towards the belt. But to me, the Lauren Murphy win does not.
Well, in order to get to the belt, you got to beat the number 1 contender. That's Cookie Monster. She's number 1 in the division.
That's insane. That's only in that division that will work out. So yeah,
because she hasn't faced Lemos. Bro, Lemos is the girl other than Zhang Weili.
If she can't take Andrade down, dude, her face will look worse than Lauren Murphy's.
Yeah, she's not built like
straight up
Lauren Murphy.
If she can't take if fucking Cookie Monster can't take Andrade down, she is in for a long fucking night. Especially if Andrade comes with this new fucking Matrix Andrade, you know, or I'm just gonna fucking batter your face until you call the cops on me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So Jessica Andrade beats the hell out of Lauren Murphy. Lauren Murphy, rest in peace. All right, moving on. Next fight, we got Johnny Walker versus Paul Craig. Did not go the way I thought it would go. I called the TKO, but I called the TKO for Paul Craig.
Same. I caught the
Craig
replay of the finish. I didn't see this fight because I was on my way to the bar coming out of wrestling. But I did catch the finish. Yeah, dude. I mean, he caught the kick, like you said. He caught the kick and fucking was able to hit him with a short cross, and that stunned Craig, and you can follow it up.
Well, he hit him with a couple. He fucking just. Bro, he just like caught that fucking hit him with a cross, but then he was like, pop, 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 like just followed him on the way down.
He followed up with these little. He didn't provide Craig the opportunity to get up. And they stopped the fight. Craig wasn't terribly damaged.
He took like 4 shots to the fucking head undefended though. That'll do you. You know what I mean?
Well, he had his hand. He was covered, but it's still
no. When he had fucking Johnny's leg. When he had Johnny Walker's leg,
and he caught like another one, and then. The third one missed, and then the fourth one, he was already on the ground.
Would you just watch it?
No, I remember seeing the replay because I caught the replay as I was coming into the bar. I caught him with a short cross. That stunned him. He caught him again on the top of the head as he was going down. The third one he missed, and the fourth one he caught him as he was on the ground, and he followed up against the cage with the continuous shots that they called the fight after that.
I'm supposed to trust your drunk memory?
I wasn't drunk at this point.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
I hadn't had a drink. I had one drink at the
sober memory
place. Yeah, so
mostly sober.
Mostly sober.
Mostly sober. Okay.
Like 90% sober.
90, 85? Okay.
90.
Okay. But yeah, he regardless, yeah, Johnny Walker, I fucking discounted him last week. I totally said you shouldn't even be on the card. You know what I mean?
I didn't say that. I said he should have been the main prelim for Shogun.
Yeah, I think I don't understand why he was on. To me, I still don't understand. I don't understand why he is on the main card and Shogun's on the prelim.
Because Johnny Walker is a what's it called? He's an entertainer. He's quirky. He appeals to American audience as a civilian.
There's nothing you could say, sir. I'm
giving you the reason why UFC did that. I am in agreement with you. They should have put Shogun as the opening fight of the main card. That's what they should have done. And we'll get into that momentarily. But kudos to Walker, bro.
We'll get into what they should have done. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Craig tried to survive, but Walker just fucking overwhelmed him. Like you said, he followed it up on the ground. And I want to say that it was Mark Goddard again was the referee for this one.
Yeah.
I thought it may have been a little early, but Paul Craig didn't have any protests from it. He seemed to be fine with it. He walked up and just, hey, sometimes I'm the nail, sometimes you're the hammer. So this time he was the nail, and Johnny Walker needed that more than probably any other win he's ever had.
Yeah, he was on a slide. Yeah.
Would have not been good to lose in front of the hometown crowd. So Paul Craig will be fine. So
yeah, Spanner Ozdemir is next for him at 10 and 11. He just lost to Krylov, right? If I recall correctly,
something like that. Yeah,
Krylov is 8, so they're not going to give him the Krylov rematch anytime soon. And then you got the rest of the 5. Jamal Hill was 7 at the time that he beat fucking Glover, so he's 1. Glover's going to be out. Everybody's going to move up in the rankings by default with Glover retiring.
Fun fact about Paul Craig: he has a win over Jamal Hill and fucking Yuri. So,
but he just lost against Johnny Walker.
But MMA math says that he technically is in line.
He's young enough too. On top of that,
he'll be.
I get some more. Give him 3. I'll say 3 wins, 2 knockouts of those wins. He gets a shot.
Give him a couple more years there. Yeah, he'll be fine.
Yeah, the way the UFC fights go, that's at least another year and a half to before he gets a shot, right?
Yeah, he'll be fine. Okay, moving on. Next fight was the main. That's the end of the main card. So moving on to the prelims. The main event of the prelims. I just love how that storyline has been spanned. Like the whole if you're on the prelims now, like that's what they like. I don't know if you've caught on, but that's literally what they tell all of these older guys to say. So like when they question in, and like Dominic Cruz is like, I'm on the prelims, just like, they call the UFC and it's like, what the fuck? And they're like, hey, it's okay, dude. Actually, if you think about it, you're actually on a whole different card. You're really on your own pay-per-view.
Well, their selling point.
You know what I mean? Like
their selling point, which I will agree with in some capacity. The selling point is this card was on ABC, so it was on national prime time at the time slot. The end of prime.
Who watched it? How many people watched it on ABC? I'd like to know.
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'd have to imagine.
I'd
have to imagine it's a lot more motherfuckers that watch Dana White Slap League.
Yeah, but you don't know that though. You'd be surprised.
I do know that.
You'd be surprised though.
I know you didn't put the number. I actually do know the number.
I know the number too. We're gonna talk about it, but I'm just saying. There's been fight nights and there's been prelim cards that have averaged below 100,000 views. Just saying. So, yeah, it's possible. I don't think so. But again, most audiences, I don't know how many. I just don't know how many casual fans on ABC are going to be like, who the fuck is Shogun Rua?
Well, the thing about
ABC, or who the fuck is, the thing
about ABC is that you don't have to have cable to really see ABC. If you have like a fucking antenna, you pick up ABC.
Dude, who has antennas? What are you talking about?
Antenna, believe it or not.
Well, That's accurate. But I'm just saying, like our age, like, come on, dude. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, yeah, everybody's just gonna pirate shit. I know that.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. But no, I just, yeah, whatever. Let's get into the fight. You know,
it was bullshit. The end.
Ihor Potieria,
Bullshit.
yeah, I mean, dude, I hated the fight. I hated the finish. I hated the fucking dance. The dance pissed me the fuck off, bro. The dance made me so mad. Me and my buddy Tanner were watching it, and he goes, dude, why is he dancing? And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I don't know. And he DXs him. He stops his bullshit celebration, which was already bullshit. Then he turns and he looks at because everyone hates him. You're like, dude, you just beat an old guy. Great. Yeah, go ahead and celebrate. And he turns to Shogun, gives him the DX, and then fucking does this little shot thing. Like, bro, stop. So, like, Ben Rothwell wannabe, please stop. Don't do that. No. Please. Like,
it was horrible. Horrible dance.
Horrible.
Everything about it was horrible. His fight was horrible. He ran half the fight. He caught him with a couple shots. I mean, he caught him.
The fight was actually, I thought he did a pretty good job. Like as far as closing the distance and, you know, that leaping left hand he landed on Shogun was fantastic.
It was a great punch. I will agree with you there, but he took advantage of the fact that Shogun is a shell of himself.
He's not going to win any fans. He's not going to win any fans by doing that shit after.
He might have lost fans from this.
He will 100% he lost fans. I mean, he also got on the radar by doing that, but
yeah.
He's not going to be, he's not going to.
The fucking Brazilians throw shit at him. If there was any motherfucker you need to throw shit at, is that fucking guy.
For real, dude. Brazilians, where the fuck were you? Throw shit at Moreno, but you don't throw this guy, you know, who fucking defeated Shogun.
Defeated your legend and then fucking just shit
all over him
after the fact.
Dude, to be honest, though, that's like Rod brought up a good point in the chat earlier in the week about Shogun not being super popular in Brazil, which is kind of true because he was a legend in Japan. He was, the same thing like Vanderlei. Vanderlei is known in Brazil, but Vanderlei, it's not like Vanderlei walks into a store in Brazil and everyone's just like, Vanderlei Silva, oh my God.
Yeah,
now Anderson Silva.
He's not no Anderson Silva.
Right. Anderson Silva might be a little different, but you know what I mean? Like, I would imagine that there's there's whole pockets of Brazil is just like not even interested in that. So
yeah.
It
was a service though. It was I agree with you guys in the chat, you and Rod, that it was a complete disservice to fucking Shogun to let him go out like that.
Let me say it.
Totally not the move to do.
It's totally not the move to do. And let me point this out too, because I was talking about this with a friend of mine earlier, and if you think about this now, Shogun is a 2 organizational champion. Pride, UFC, had amazing fights against Lyoto, Henderson. Fucking he took. Everyone forgets this. How did John get the belt?
Beat Shogun.
From Shogun. Yep. Shogun accepted that fight in. Was it Brazil? No, it wasn't Brazil.
No,
but. He accepted that fight, didn't have to accept the fight against John Jones, basically started the John Jones era. I mean, that fight was incredible, by the way. John Jones hit him with that flying knee right at the beginning, and Shogun was like never the same. It was insane. But it was literally, you saw the decline of Shogun then. Okay. Yeah. Then the guy goes on and stays in your, for 10 more fucking years, he's in the company. He's still a wrecking ball and all this other shit. I can't even imagine, especially when he was the champion. They did the whole Lyoto run. They did both of the Henderson fights, both of the Lyoto fights. I mean, you got 2 fucking, you got 2 combo fights out of that. And you get probably, I mean, dude, I can't even put a number on it. It's got to be fucking millions and tens of millions of dollars in promotional marketing alone. You take all of that.
You asked us in the chat, and I wonder,
hold on, but you take all of that, and the value in that, that's an asset to a company, to any business, right? You would be like, oh, we paid for this so much, and this is how much it's worth. And so you're telling me that fucking Ihor Potieria is worth losing that fucking stock to a guy like Ihor's going to go up and get beat by some fucking guys in the top 10, top 5. He's just going to be a road guy. That's worth all the money and all the promotion, all the shit you could do with Shogun. That's worth to put this fucking guy over. Okay. That's my point. I don't fucking get it. Makes no sense. Business-wise, it makes zero sense.
It was a waste. Yeah. It was a waste.
So, yeah.
My thought process, you brought this up. 12-1 in Pride. Is he the most successful Pride fighter, Pride specific fighter that came into the UFC? I think yes.
I think he might be, yeah. I think you might be right about that. Besides Anderson, of course, but yeah.
We went over this. Anderson went like fucking like 2-3 or some shit in fucking Pride. He didn't even have he had a pedestrian Pride record, remember?
He was still a Pride guy. He still came over from Pride. I mean,
yeah, but he didn't really.
He did come over before the merger.
Yeah, but he didn't cut his teeth like that in Pride, really.
I disagree. He fucking he learned a lot in Pride. Especially against Inoue. So I mean, look, he cut his he did cut his teeth in Pride, dude, because his teeth were cut by the time he got to the UFC. Where else would he have cut them? I mean, when that first fight against Chris Lieben, dude, there was never a fight when he fought Chris Lieben. It was like, Jesus Christ, okay. Then he fights Rich Franklin, and then you're like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. You know what I mean? People forget.
My favorite fight still is always going to be him and Forrest Griffin. When he fights Forrest Griffin, that's GOAT level shit.
That's a good one.
Shit. That's GOAT level shit right there, dude. The way he pieced up
But I mean, to be honest, Forrest Griffin.
The one where Griffin ran out the octagon before they even announced the result.
Well, that's because he's always just been weird like that. But I Forrest Griffin, though, to be honest, at the time, not not the show skill set of MMA, especially at that time, and definitely not the 205 division. He went in the fucking middleweight division and cleaned out Rich Franklin twice. And Rich Franklin was the fucking king, bro. He was the guy who came in and brought stability to the middleweight division. Yeah. He was the math teacher from hell who would fucking KO your ass after he taught you algebra.
And now he's at the front of being the math for one.
Now he's at the mouth for one. So, yeah, either way, shit fight. Fuck the UFC. It just doesn't make sense for the fight. So.
Not that way.
Moving on. Bruno Ferreira versus Gregory Rodriguez. Gregory Rodriguez is just coming off of a fucking fantastic KO.
Yeah.
But sometimes you take a nap.
Sometimes you're the nail.
Yeah, dude. And fucking Ferreira fucking defeats Rodriguez via sleeping, bro. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
Rodriguez took a
straight
nap.
right to the fucking nose.
It took a little bit for the fight to get off and for them to get established timing, but I mean, Rodriguez was aggressive. He was aggressive, and Ferreira was responding with counters. He's coming in, but once I want to say Ferreira caught him real good. It might have been 2-3 minutes in, and that was kind of all. That was kind of all she wrote as far as like the aggressiveness from Rodriguez.
Yeah, he stepped back, and then you started seeing Ferreira move more. He was moving a lot more. Head movement. He had a lot of head
This was Ferreira's UFC debut, so fucking fantastic debut.
It was
what a night for debuts.
Yes, we'll get into that.
What a night for debuts. So great fight. All right, moving on. Thiago Moises defeats Malacuzel Costa. I have it fucking in the thing right here. And then I had the pronunciation and I just clicked it and it fucking went all over the place. So, but yeah, Moises defeats Costa. It was a beautiful submission, rear naked choke in round 2.
Yeah. It was a guillotine. The guillotine.
In 405?
Oh, wait, never mind. Wrong one. I'm thinking of Bonfim. My bad. I didn't see this fight.
You're looking at the wrong one. Yeah.
Let's get this fight. Sorry.
You skipped that fight. Okay.
I didn't watch all the prelims. I watched both Bonfim fights and then the Ferreira fight and then the what's it called Shogun fight from the prelims.
Right.
Fight.
Well, I'll walk you through it real quick. Yeah, Moises basically started out the fight like looking for the takedown. It was clear what he was trying to get at. You know what I mean? And Costa was doing what he could to try to get away. But I mean, Moises is fucking wrestling and his grappling is just supreme.
Yeah.
Compared to Costa's, obviously. And so Costa was just able to get the scramble. Eventually, got his back. And Costa was trying to defend, but I mean, when you're going up against a guy like Moises, he just puts in that squeeze, dude. And once he got the fucking underneath the chin, it was pretty much over.
Yeah.
So wasn't a super like entertaining, like crazy fight, but it was a good fight to, check out.
Sure.
Definitely a highlight on the finish. So,
Sure.
all right, moving on. Next fight, Gabriel Bonfim versus Monier Laziz. Now, this was a fucking fantastic fight off the bat. Fucking great fight. Fireworks.
Coming off his brother's fight in the next fight we'll talk about.
Right. Yeah. We're going from the top down, but yeah, he had already kind of learned about his brother's victory earlier in the night. So
watched it live, and he was out next afterwards. Immediately afterwards was his fight.
Yeah, they were right next to each other. So I'm sure they were. I don't think they were in each other's corner, but they were. Obviously, they were fired up. But Laziz shot in, and Bonfim grabbed him, dude, and just jumped on that guillotine. And he just has he's obviously has a wicked grip. Grabbed him real quick and was just like, "Come here!" And fucking snatched him up. And I think if Laziz did not tap, he would have been one of those guys who just like fucking, fucking out.
Yeah,
dude. When you see a guy go out in a guillotine, I don't know. There's something about it. It's just kind of give me the heebies a little bit, almost. Something.
It's still not John Jones Lyoto Machida finish. To me, that's the best submission.
Oh man, when you said that,
other than what's his face breaking arms.
No, you're
Frank Mir breaking arms.
Frank Mir breaking Minotero, it's fucking, or Frank Mir getting his arm, or breaking fucking Tim Sylvia's arm. Yeah, no, that I'll never forget that shit. But yeah, Bonfim just looked fantastic, and we'll roll right into the next one. Israel Bonfim, that was Gabriel Bonfim. Yeah. Israel Bonfim.
Is he the younger brother?
Huh?
Is he the younger brother or the older brother?
I don't know.
I think
he defeated. He might be the younger one, but he defeated Terrence McKinney.
Shocking.
And McKinney's fucking good. McKinney's real good.
The broadcast made it a point that Bonfim, he was 19-3 coming in. He was an experienced Brazilian. He's been around the game, around the regional circuit in Brazil for multiple years. He's not your typical guy that the UFC has been signing lately, like the 4-0s, the 5-0 guys, the like 7-1 guys that have had a cup of coffee, but not like really established themselves. A cup of coffee, yeah. No, Bonfim has Bonfim, 19-3 coming in. Terrence McKinney had the reputation. All of his fights were finishes in the UFC. All of them finishes in the first round. He was known for getting guys out quick. And Bonfim, with his experience, was able to take it to McKinney, was able to put him on the back foot, which we haven't seen any fighter really do. And it was already, just from round one, already a shocking development. All right, this guy can go. He's taking one of the fucking top prospects the UFC has that wants to push, and he's making him work. All right, cool. And then coming into round two, same thing. Continued pressure, continued success in the stand-up game. There was a good couple scrambles between round 1 and 2 as well. It was a really solid fight. And then, oh man, he fucking caught McKinney, caught his ass, bro, with a fucking, I think it was a knee to the neck. He caught him with a bicycle knee to the neck and fucking slept McKinney cold.
Just slept him out. Yeah, dude, he went like right out.
Yeah, he was out.
Yeah.
Walk off, bicycle knee to the neck.
Yeah, I mean, it was knockout of the year candidate for sure.
And what's his face? He had gotten his mouthpiece dropped. He dropped the mouthpiece twice. He caught him in the first round. He had his mouthpiece dropped with a short little punch. And then in round 2, right before the knockout, he got caught with a wicked right hand, and that dropped McKinney's mouthpiece as well. When he caught that knee to the neck, Paul Felder was saying, he's like, listen, he's like, he just got slept, and that was the best case scenario because he didn't have his mouthpiece in. Imagine eating that fucking knee to the jaw with no mouthpiece. You talk about wiring your jaw shut.
I was gonna say, talk about Kanye West. You know what I mean? Like, dude, yeah for sure, through the wire. It all goes down. Through the wire.
Yeah.
Peak Kanye. Not Peak Kanye. Peak Kanye was 808 Heartbreaks, but that's top.
808 that's his best album. I mean,
yeah, it is.
It's agreed. That's agreed.
Yeah, most agreed. It's his best
I mean,
album.
what are we talking about? That last one was pretty good.
I haven't heard a full Kanye West album in a long time, honestly.
Well, I just say it because that last one was like released on some fucking bullshit music thing, some like stem recorder thing.
Yeah, because I think he was banned by this point, or he willfully took.
No, it was before. It was before. It was the Dada whatever album.
Donda was when he
Donda,
all major streaming platforms.
Like, Dada, with Kanye West, his new album is gonna be called Dada 5000. Actually, him and Dada 5000 do a fucking album together. That'd be hilarious. You're like, what I do?
What the?
First off, you two surprises. Yes, Dada 5000 is still alive, and what he raps. You're like, can't believe that.
Him and what's his dick? Kimbo.
No, Kimbo's not alive.
No, I know, but same as him and Dada 5000 and Kimbo.
That fight?
Yeah.
That's what killed Kimbo. Sorry. Okay. So that's the end of the card, really. And Ismail Bonfim, he was on the early prelims. There's actually like quite a few fights on the early prelims. I don't feel like talking about it. We talked about all the fights that had finishes. So there was a few other fights that had decisions.
Yeah.
They were all right, you know what I mean? But to go back and watch on the early prelims, like so that wraps up UFC 283. You know, we got
solid show as a whole, though. All things considered, even I didn't really disrespect to Shogun. It was a really solid show. What's it called? Before we completely close out the show, I know you have it last, but I think it's important since we're talking about the show to talk about the Jose Aldo retirement package. What a beautiful fucking package they did, dude.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was fun.
Moved him to tears too. It was very, very moving seeing Jose Aldo to fucking tears. It was it's funny that we literally in the group chat talked about how they treat legends like shit, and they proved their point with fucking treating Shogun like shit. But they treated at least one legend with respect and dignity, and that was fucking Jose Aldo. Beautiful package. They had all these different Brazilian fighters talking about his life, his career, his impact to the game. It was really well done. He was there with his family and his coach. Again, moved the tears. It was a wonderful done piece. It happened. They
in Rio.
Yep. They put it on after the Paul Craig knockout. They had a little bit of time to kill, so they're like, "Oh, this is the perfect opportunity to."
Honestly, I'm surprised they just didn't fucking give do a poster. I'm surprised they didn't just like print something and just be like, "Hey, good job, Jose. Thank you." You know what I mean? Like with a birthday.
No, they
not
really
even his birthday.
Yeah,
you know.
No, they really went out. They really went out all out for Jose Aldo, and good for him. Good for him. Congratulations to Jose Aldo. It shows, the type of quality that the UFC can put out if they really wanted to fucking honor the people that mean a shit to their business, and they did that well. So good for them.
Yeah, I'm glad they did that for at least one guy.
Yeah.
Because and if any guy deserves it, it's definitely Jose Aldo.
Yeah.
I mean, with the fights that he's had, the Strike Force fights, dude, the fights with fucking
WEC fights.
Huh?
WEC fights. He didn't fight Strike Force.
Oh, he was WEC, huh?
It was WEC.
Who says WEC?
I call it WEC.
WEC, dude, don't say that. That's fucking weird, bro.
WEC.
That's why you like to get your toes sucked by fucking ocean creatures. Dude.
It's funny you made that joke last week. Have you ever had anything nibble on you, like an ocean creature nibble on you?
You see, and this is why I said it. I didn't even know. I just
I've never had my feet. Nope, never had my feet done. I have my hands. You put your hand like the little thing, and like they nibble on you and shit. It's super weird. Super weird.
Don't sugarcoat it. Say what you want to say.
It's weird. It's weird.
You like it.
No, I wouldn't say I like it, but it was weird. It was just weird. I can't put a particular like or dislike to it, but it's an experience that people should have, like having ocean creature on you somewhere.
Hey,
I can't imagine my feet, dude. That would be too much.
Hey, man, just open up, dude. Open up to the pod. Tell everybody what you really feel. It's okay. It's all right if you like it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's 20, bro. It's the time of acceptance now. You know what I mean?
I like doing butt stuff with girls, bro. I don't do butt stuff. Nobody does butt stuff to me, but I do butt stuff.
All right.
Never have. I put a finger in my butt once, and I was like, "This doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel right." So I'm like, never like I know I'm not gay because this doesn't feel right at all.
It doesn't feel good to me either. So I know what you mean. Yeah. It's not like a thing like it happened one time and it wasn't like a oh, what's that? It was like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, stop.
Yeah, now I'm jumping. I had a girl like
word. You know,
she's like, can I just rub your
elephant? You know,
I'm like, no. She like touched my asshole and I'm like, oh, fucking jump, bro.
You're like Saratoga. That's what's that? It's my safe word. I just made it up. Fucking. All right, let's jump into some news. Biggest news we got to talk about is really, I mean, you brought up the Jose Aldo thing. Tyson, the biggest thing that's kind of coming out right now is Tyson Fury versus Francis Nganou. And I love that that's coming out, and I love that the UFC is not involved in it. I love that it's Francis involved in it, and I love that it could actually fucking happen. That's super cool. Because a part of me was kind of thinking, I'm like, man, I don't know if, I wonder if these boxers, especially like Fury and stuff, are they really going to still be down to box him, especially now that he doesn't have the UFC attached to his name?
Yeah.
And so it's cool to see Tyson Fury as always. He's the man, the Gypsy King. He's just like, I'll fucking fight him. I'll fight him anywhere. Fight him in my dad's basement. You know what I mean? Fight him in my underwear.
I thought it was very unique. He said we do 8-round Queensberry rules. And I'm like, wow, that's a throwback. A. B.
With 4 ounces.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Tyson Fury throwing fucking punches with 4-ounce gloves.
Imagine.
Oh my God. Oh, good God.
I don't know. I imagine fucking Tyson Fury taking 4-ounce fucking punches from Francis Nganou, though.
Oh, good God. Imagine if they like made that like a thing, like fucking Deontay Wilder with 4-ounce gloves.
That's the thing. That's what's hard about it, I feel like, because with Ngannou, it's like, dude, in a perfect world, if I thought Ngannou had these skills to compete with these guys, I would say have him fight Joshua or have him fight Wilder first. And then if he beats one of those guys or knocks him out, then he can fight Fury and it could be like this massive buildup. Especially if we fight Wilder. I feel like him and Wilder would really put on they're just the style. What I mean?
Well, Wilder is insane. Wilder's insane.
Wilder will go for it with him. You know what I mean?
He 100% will go
Plus, he'd make so much money off that fight. I mean,
Fury's not dumb.
You say that Wilder would do that. Wilder's kind of strange sometimes, though. He will do some weird shit.
No, Wilder's
always game to fight.
He's not going to be boxing fucking Francis Ngannou. Tyson Fury will most certainly be cautious. Most certainly will win via just pure class of boxing. Joshua's the same way. Joshua's a very technical fighter himself.
Really?
Yeah, Joshua's a very technical fighter.
Oh, I could see Francis Ngannou. I could see that going very, very Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather like
Joshua versus fucking Francis Ngannou.
No, Fury versus Ngannou. Yeah, I could see that going very Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor like where.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not going to be like maybe Fury's going to punch him with something that's going to knock him out, but it'll be like a hornet attack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't think like. I think at one point Ngannou will probably be so tired, so winded.
That's the thing about boxing. Boxing has longer rounds for a more sustained period. If you're in a minute,
he will just be able to turn.
Yeah,
he'll be able to turn and cut angles.
Yeah,
and just be able to really get.
And it's not. You can't throw knees. You can't throw elbows. You're not going to take him down.
Yeah, dude.
Really standing up boxing.
Even the Queensberry rules.
All these guys, Fury and Joshua, anybody that has any technical boxing skills, real technical boxing skills, will literally just circle you.
No one's calling. Right. Exactly. No one's calling it for what it is besides Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith called it out last week and said that Ngannou ain't got the like, what are we talking about?
None of the guys in the UFC, bro. There's not a single guy in the UFC except maybe who's the
Bobby Green.
Bobby Green.
Bobby Green, baby.
Bobby Green is probably the only guy in the UFC that can hang with a technical boxer, bro. Like,
there's a couple other ones too, but I know what you're saying. Like, dude, Cody Garbrandt. I mean, he actually
got knocked out before he fucking has an opportunity to do anything else.
No, that's the UFC. That's what 4 ounce gloves. He had actual boxing experience before he came to the UFC too, though. So I mean, I don't know. I think there are definitely. I mean, look,
Silva, because he was a boxer before the UFC.
If you take away those 16-ounce fucking pillows, then it changes things. Look, I just point this out. Look what Artem Lobov was able to do to fucking Paulie Malignaggi in the fucking BKFC environment. You know what I mean? Like
Malignaggi again, another guy with a glass jaw.
he didn't get knocked out, dude. He got fucking outpointed by fucking Artem. I don't know if you ever watched that fight, but dude, he literally got outpointed by Artem.
Yeah, no, I saw highlights of the fight. I didn't see the entire, I saw highlights of the fight.
It was unbelievable. It was literally like I remember watching it, thinking like, I'm about to watch like fucking Artem get fucking his ass embarrassed.
Hey,
and I literally
he's one of the only guys. He's one of the guys that, bro, he finished with a negative record in MMA, and he's lauded.
And he's still being talked about.
And he's lauded.
So
I think it was like 11-12 or something was his fucking record all time.
No, he's like 13-13, isn't he? He's like a perfect 13-13 right now. Something like
that. Hey,
that.
Google, what is Artem Lobov's professional MMA record?
On the website UFCstats.com, they say Artem Lobov record 13151.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes ask me, is Artem Lobov in the UFC? Do you want to hear the answer?
No.
No, thanks, Google.
Anyway. 13-15 was his record. The only other guy, Mark Hunt, finished with a negative record himself.
Your Google is gonna kill you one day. You know that, right?
No, I can think of worse deaths.
It's gonna be like, you never said thank you.
Okay, it's gonna magically operate fucking hands and feet and fucking come to me. Okay.
Yeah, dude. Imagine it.
All my smart systems at this stage because I got my.
Or it could just overload an electrical circuit and burn your house down while you're sleeping. You know what I mean?
That's why I have fire alarms.
I could disable those maybe. You have a smart system, right?
Yeah, but that's Simply Safe. That's not a Google.
Ooh, okay, all right.
I do have two Google. I will get fucked because I have two Google carbon monoxide detectors.
Yeah, see, they'll fucking he'll just poison your ass. In your sleep. You'll never know.
And I'll never know. That's fair.
Yeah. Thanks, Google. You know what I mean? Peaceful death. Appreciate it.
Yeah. You can have your mic back when I die.
Oh no, send it to Angel. He'll be my new co-host.
Bro, I don't think anybody will want this fucking mic because freaking it'll be like cursed.
You don't know Angel enough. He'll take it. The other thing we'll talk about real quick. I gotta go, dude. I'm so tired. I gotta go fucking lay down. But real quick, the slap league thing. We talked about it earlier.
What a bummer. 200 and I think 7,000 was the number.
It's 243. It's 243K.
I was in the 200. Keep in mind, and I had mentioned this before when we talked about Slap League, is that they're coming off the heels of AEW Dynamite. Consistently, AEW Dynamite does anywhere between 750 and a million million.
They did 800 and they did 877. I want to say
that's pretty average. That's about
an average, right?
That's not bad.
So that means Dana White's Slap League, which, by the way, his name's right on there, and he just slapped his wife like 2 fucking weeks ago. What do you think was gonna happen, Reed? You know what I mean?
You knew that was gonna tank.
What'd you think was gonna fucking happen? And then he goes, they put on there, so they lost like 637,000 fucking viewers
as soon as 10 o'clock hit, bro. And then, man, if you've seen the online reaction to it, how horrible. I haven't seen one positive reaction to Dana White's Slap League.
I understand only because I watched Superman and I saw Lex Luthor and I kind of get like his mindset. That's the only way I could see how Dana has how delusionally twisted this into making it seem like it is like the first UFC. Everyone was all against it. All the headlines are all against UFC. Like,
I don't think this protocol works at the end of the day because the reality.
No, it don't. Yeah,
it doesn't because in 2020, if this was like 2005, it would 100% make fucking bank.
I don't think so either. The problem with MMA still to this day is the violence and the blood, and it's still kind of a hard thing to get over, even as legitimate of a fucking sport or spectacle it has become. it's still one of the hardest things to get over. And back then, it was definitely a fucking hard thing.
I know so many
Which
people
is why,
because I can't handle the blood, I can't handle the violence.
right? Which is why it was on Spike, dude. Spike was the man channel. Remember that before it was Paramount and all this shit. It was Spike, and that was like what they had.
That old WWF,
right? Old WWF, and they had a bunch of shit on there. So it's like that's what that network was known for. That was like one of the only places you could do shit like that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, there's no way I see this slap fight thing turn into anything legitimate then or now.
It's gonna die.
It's just, it doesn't make any sense, dude. No. You sit there and you slap another person and you get fucking hit. No defense. You can't put your hands up. Nothing. You can't even flinch. You get a point deducted if you fucking flinch a little bit.
Yeah.
So you literally have to sit there and just take a hit. And dude, you're watching like. You've seen
guys go, bro. You've seen guys go fucking limp. You see guys going stiff as a board. One guy has memory loss. Guy got knocked out on the first slap and has memory loss.
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, yeah. None of them even remember fucking how they even got.
Dude, there's gonna be lawsuits. This is gonna.
That one chick gets fucking slapped and she fucking backs up, and all the people who were supposed to catch her, they just watch her like fucking what fall on her head and go.
Yeah, she fell on her head trying to stand up, and they're like,
I thought she should have got awarded the. Somehow they fucked this up even more and put judges in this. I don't get it, but they should have awarded that girl the unanimous decision. But yeah, there's judges.
And everybody's seen the most viral of the clips is the guy with the swollen face that can't fucking see or hear.
Nothing makes sense. Yeah, I don't.
It's awful.
If anybody, like everyone's like Dana White, UFC, it's like, yeah, dude, like unsubscribe, whatever. Like it's insane. Yeah. You want to be mad at somebody though? Like, you should fucking be mad at the Nevada State Athletic Commission, who obviously is just one of the UFC's pocket coffers who they can just fucking get to do whatever they want. Move John Jones fight to California, fucking invent a new sport for Dana White because he'll donate. I mean, I can't even imagine how much money Dana White must donate to the Athletic Commission every year of the UFC.
He pays some of the salaries. That's how he gets away with
it. Good Lord, bro. Like, they legitimized this and they had a hard time legitimizing bare knuckle. Get the fuck out of here.
Listen, I want to say something else.
How could you legitimize that?
I want to say something else quick about TBS. I want to say something about TBS putting this on. So I talked about it. No, I didn't talk about it. The news hadn't dropped. Oh, no, the news did drop. I was shocked when the news dropped that Jay Briscoe, a really popular wrestler, he passed away last Wednesday due to a car accident. A lady fucking was not paying attention, swerved into his lane, head-on collision. His girls were injured. They had surgeries, back surgeries and leg surgeries. They're recovering, which is good. And rest in peace to Jay Briscoe. But listen, I don't know if you know the story that Jay Briscoe about 10 years ago put out a homophobic tweet, right? And at the time, he was one of those Crusaders for God type of people, right? And it cost him a WWE deal because they rescinded that deal. And ever since then, he's been apologetic. He's done sensitivity training. He's vouched for gay people. He's been in locker rooms with gay people. Everyone, gay people, straight people, whoever it is, they all know Jay Briscoe is a cool dude, not a hateful person at all. He's made amends for his dumb tweet. TBS refused to allow AEW to sign Jay Briscoe because of that tweet. Not only did they refuse it, he fucking died. And AEW wanted to do a fucking tribute show to him. And they're like, oh, can we make this episode like a Jay Briscoe memorial show? They said no. So you're going to allow Dana White, who slapped his wife, to have this broadcast immediately after your wrestling program, but you're not going to fucking honor a guy who
made a tweet.
Who had a singular stupid tweet that he's made amends for, and who everybody for the company that you love, because you mentioned how much you love AEW and the ratings they bring and the fan base, you love everything about them. So if they lost someone that's very valuable in their community and they want to show respect and honor to that person, you said, nah, fuck him, fuck y'all, no, can't do it.
Yeah,
bro, the audacity, and it's a singular. They've pointed out there's a singular anonymous TBS executive that makes that call. What a piece of shit that guy is or girl is. And the network as a whole should just be fucking ashamed that you're going to allow Dana White, who slapped his fucking wife, to have a slap fucking league where you're having guys going fucking comatose basically after getting fucking slapped in the face and allowing that shit, but you're not going to allow them to fucking honor Jay Briscoe and honor somebody who was well respected in their fucking community and did a lot for the fucking business that you fucking are making money hand over fist over in the process. What pieces of shit TBS is. God fucking awful fucking executive leadership there. Fucking the shits. From like what they did with Jay Briscoe, the Dana White bullshit that we're seeing now that we're going to be forced to sit for at least 5, 6, 7 episodes.
I say we also blame them for the Shogun debacle. I fucking am cool with that. You know what I mean? Like this whole week has been filled with dishonor.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit, bro. It's bullshit, bro. Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. Fuck TBS. Fuck the Dana White slap league. That's how we're getting the note. Fuck them all.
Fuck them all. That's how we're gonna end it. Yeah, because dude, especially on the UFC side of things, it's just lately, it's just like fuck, dude.
It's
I don't know.
Fucking ridiculous.
Good thing you guys are still putting on fights.
Absolutely fucking ridiculous, dude.
Oh, well, Governor, that was a good one, dude. Let's sit at home. You want to tell them where they can follow us at? Where we're
I got it, everybody. Shout out to Sean and W2M Network. Thank you for hosting us. You can follow us on their page if you just Google W2M Network. You'll find our live feeds as well on there as well on YouTube, Twitch, etc. You can follow us at MMA for Marks on Facebook. MMA number 4 Marks. It's the same as Andy's handle. MMA number 4 Marks. That's where you can follow Andy on social media, on Instagram specifically. You can follow me on Twitter, SHOSTOPPA24. That's Showstopper24. You can follow me on my podcast Instagram, podcast.senpai. If you do follow us, let us know. Hey, I heard you guys on your channel. I appreciate your shit. Whatever. Fuck you guys. You guys are pieces of shit. We'll take those comments too. Just any sort of interaction. Andy and I most definitely appreciate it. As we've talked about plenty of times before, we put a lot into the show. Our time, effort, money. We're trying to do our marketing thing. We're upgraded fucking equipment, all that. So we definitely appreciate any love that you guys show us, and for all the people that do show us love, we appreciate you guys. And any haters out there, fuck you, but we appreciate you too, because without haters, we can't fucking grow and be fucking even better than what the fuck you think we are. So, other than that, and make sure all of us follow us and any of our endeavors. You can follow me on my other endeavor, the Talk to Kiki podcast. Shout out to my boy Matt, also on W2M Network. You can check us out there for any latest and greatest weekly updates on anime. And that's about it, Governor. Fuck them all.
Fuck them all, dude. See you guys next week.
Deuce.
Hey.
If there's one thing I know for sure, it's that I know nothing.